One Psalm Day. Psalm 18, a story that will make Psalm 18 come alive. The rain was relentless now, drumming against the windshield of Daniel's car, as if the sky itself were trying to push him into the sea. The old coastal road wound precariously along the cliff's edge, and the engine had died without warning 25 minutes earlier. The tide, swollen by the storm, was climbing steadily, waves crashing against the jagged rocks below with the force of 1,000 hammers. He had nowhere to go, no one to call. His cell phone had no signal. The darkness of the night and the roar of the storm seemed to swallow every shred of hope. Inside the car, the air felt heavy. Daniel's fingers gripped the steering wheel even though the car could no longer move. His chest felt tight, not just from fear of the storm but from the weight of life itself. That morning, the letter from the bank had arrived, the final warning before foreclosure. His job had been gone for months, and each day had been a silent battle to keep his head above water. Now, sitting in that car, it felt like the physical storm outside was mirroring the storm inside his soul. The wind howled, rattling the door, and water began to seep through the bottom of the driver's side. He stared out at the churning darkness and whispered, "God, if you're there, please help me." The words felt small against the vast noise of the storm, but they were all he had left. Suddenly, a brilliant flash of lightning split the sky, revealing the angry waves below and the sheer drop just a few feet from his front tire. Panic surged in him. One wrong move, and he could be swept away. Then, in the distance, through the wall of rain, two beams of light appeared. Headlights. A truck emerged from the darkness, massive and steady, stopping right beside him. A man in a yellow raincoat jumped down, his face shadowed by the hood. "Need a lift," he shouted over the wind. His voice was calm but commanding, like someone who had been through storms before. Daniel didn't hesitate. He grabbed his backpack and climbed in. The truck moved with surprising ease through the flooded road, the driver's hands steady on the wheel. They didn't talk much. The storm did most of the speaking. But Daniel felt a strange peace in that cab, as if he had stepped into a fortress. Every bump in the road, every surge of water that hit the tires, was met with unwavering control. After what felt like an eternity, the truck pulled into the dimly lit lot of a small gas station miles away from the coast. Daniel turned to thank his rescuer, but the passenger seat was empty. His heart pounded. He stepped out, scanning the lot for the yellow raincoat, but there was nothing. The gas station attendant, wiping down the counter inside, swore he hadn't seen any other vehicle arrive. Shaking and drenched, Daniel wandered to a corner of the shop. On a shelf sat a worn Bible, left open as if waiting for someone. His eyes fell instantly on the words, "The Lord is my rock, my fortress and my deliverer. My God is my rock, in whom I take refuge." Psalm 18:2. He closed his eyes, and warmth spread through him, a warmth that had nothing to do with the heater inside the store. From that night forward, Daniel carried a small notebook. In it, he wrote down every rescue, from fear, from despair, from choices that could have destroyed him. Some were quiet rescues, others dramatic, but all carried the same truth. The Lord had been his rock, his fortress, and his deliverer. Daniel's prayers changed after that night. They were no longer just cries in the darkness, they were songs of gratitude in the light. And whenever the storms returned, inside or out, he would open that notebook, run his fingers over the ink, and remember, God had not abandoned him before, and he would not start now. Psalm 18, Niv. Excerpted for narrative flow. I love you, Lord, my strength. The Lord is my rock, my fortress and my deliverer. My God is my rock, in whom I take refuge, my shield and the horn of my salvation, my stronghold. In my distress I called to the Lord, I cried to my God for help. From his temple he heard my voice. My cry came before him, into his ears. He reached down from on high and took hold of me. He drew me out of deep waters. He rescued me from my powerful enemy, from my foes who were too strong for me. They confronted me in the day of my disaster, but the Lord was my support. He brought me out into a spacious place. He rescued me because he delighted in me. Shall we take a moment to reflect? Psalm 18 is more than a declaration of faith. It is a testimony of rescue, a song born out of danger and deliverance. David wrote these words after being saved from his enemies, but the language reaches across centuries into our own storms. We may not fight with swords or flee from armies, but we face battles just as real. Financial strain, broken relationships, anxiety, depression, the quiet despair of feeling unseen. The imagery is vivid. Deep waters, powerful enemies, a spacious place. These are not abstract phrases. They are the language of someone who has felt trapped and then freed. When David says, "The Lord is my rock," he is speaking of unshakable stability in a world that shifts beneath our feet. A rock does not move when storms rage. It stands firm, and so does the one who saves us. The verse, "He rescued me because he delighted in me," is deeply personal. It reminds us that God's intervention is not merely out of duty, it comes from love, joy, and the intimate knowledge of who we are. We are not just projects to him, we are his delight. Like Daniel in the story, we sometimes only see the rescuer in hindsight. We might think we were lucky, or that events simply worked out. But Psalm 18 challenges us to see God's hand in those moments, to recognize the unseen driver who pulls us from the flood, to remember the verses that meet us at the exact moment we need them. And perhaps most importantly, this psalm calls us to build a memory of God's faithfulness, to keep a notebook, literal or in our hearts, of the times we have been saved. Because when the next storm comes, and it will, those memories anchor us to the truth. The Lord has not abandoned us before, and He will not start now.